Melissa Dunn. I am very happy to be sitting here over Zoom with you, chatting about you. And first of all, I just want to say huge congratulations because I don't know if anybody told you, but there was a market shift this year. I don't think anyone told you because you are crushing it. Your business is up 367% year over year. So you are on fire, my friend. And, it's not like you had a bad year last year. So, so excited for you. So proud of you. And, we're just going to have a conversation.
Cool. I love it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about where it all began. So share with everybody just a little bit about your real estate story. How'd you start in this crazy business?
Okay. So it's so funny because back when I was a little baby, when I was getting ready to graduate high school, my then boyfriend, now husband, was wanting to go to Collin County Community College for an audio engineering program. And they had a real estate program. And I thought, oh my gosh, this would be so great. And then I was talked out of it by some very well-meaning people who said I'd be all commission and I would have to work when other people were off and I wouldn't get to do anything fun. And so
some of that's true. Some of that is true.
Right, yeah. Yeah. But it discouraged me enough to where I was like, I'll just go get a 9 to 5. So I graduated early, got a 9 to 5 working for apartment communities and worked there for a while. Like I literally started the day after my 18th birthday. And I always wanted to get my license, but I was like, no, I can't do that. Like I'm making $40,000 a year. I have to stay here. And so now like looking at like my commission checks, I'm like, damn. So, but I did a couple of years in property management, and then I went to work for a marketing company where we did architectural photography and videos and websites. And then I had my first baby and started a company where we did architectural tours, architectural photography. We were the first company to bring Matterport into DFW. And I thought, right when I was pregnant with my second, I thought I'm going to get my license and I'm just going to do this part-time and blah, blah, blah. And then soon that completely overtook all of my time. And I really stopped working on this other business and dedicated my time because I got the highest return on my real estate business. And so that is where we have been ever since. And I think this is my 8th year to have my license, 8th or 7th year. And I've been kind of a solo agent the whole time.
So, okay. So how old were you when you first got your license? You talked about back when you were a baby and you're still a baby.
Oh, baby.
Spring chicken.
I think I got licensed in 2015. So I've been telling everybody I was 34 for the last year. And then I did the math because my mom was like, you're not 34, I'm 33. So whatever that math is. But so I was in my
young enough to actually get it wrong on that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was like, oh, I've been telling everyone I'm 34 with like pride. Like, no, I'm 33. I don't know how old I am. But in my mid 20s, late 20s, something like that.
So mid-20s, 2 babies, full-time job, got your real estate license. So how did it start to overtake things? I mean, there's a lot of people that get into this business, dual career with hopes of it maybe becoming a full-time gig. And it's hard to get traction as a full-time agent when you're new. How'd you do it as a dual career?
So, and I had my third baby when I got my actual license. I was right about to have my third baby whenever I got my license. And, the first little bit, I worked a lot of lease leads, right? Worked a lot of leases, treated them just like buyers, loved on them, added them to my nurture list. They turned into buyers later on. I did a lot of open houses. And, I was with a broker whom I adore. He's a very sweet man. He has a family brokerage. I was the only non-family member. And he'd lived in Plano for like ever. So he knew everybody, and his business was very sphere driven and referral driven. And I'd lived in the Plano area for a while, but not a lot of my peers were buying houses, and or I wasn't that person they knew to go to buy a house. Unlike my old broker, everyone knew him. He's so sweet. And so I really got into, I needed to meet strangers, and strangers became my jam. And so I started working for sale by owners, and I started really fine tuning how I worked an open house. And with those two kind of pillars to my business, that's where I started to really see growth, was expanding into these other areas. And with my old broker, he wasn't really, that wasn't his thing. He couldn't really coach me or train me on that the way I probably needed. And then when I met you guys, that's like your jam. And I immediately, I think the first week I was at Keller Williams, I went into Bold, and I just drank the purple Kool-Aid. I have my Bold board here.
You're legit.
We teach the kids these also, but I jumped in and I tried to absorb everything that Keller Williams was teaching me. So like every family reunion, every mega camp, I do a lot of the fast track classes through KW Maps. I have a KW Maps coach. I do a lot of the broker chats with our broker. And so really being involved in our office and the trainings that are delivered, I became the expert. I knew what to say. You know what I mean? It helped build my reputation with not just my new friends that I was meeting as for sale by owners and at open houses, but with my sphere also. I became their go-to agent as well.
Well, I remember, Melissa, when we met, which is probably, 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. I was very impressed with you because you were young, you were young mom, you were busy, and yet you had a lot of discipline. And I have to give you credit for that, because you brought that to the table when you partnered with Keller Williams. And I think what we were able to do is really help you with the just the training, the coaching, giving you absolutely the best skills, but you brought the heart and the character. And that's the part I think that everybody they have to bring that piece of it. But then when you have this amazing partnership, so you mentioned Bold, maybe people watching don't know about Bold or aren't familiar with what that is. So give them in your words, what is Bold? And then specifically, I would love to know, since you have the Bold laws on your wall, and I know you're teaching your sweet kiddos these Bold laws, which are really mindset ways of thinking to create success. What's your favorite one?
Okay. So what Bold is is what is it? Is it a 9-week class or 8-week class? How many weeks are we?
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
Okay. There's a skip week. So it's 8 weeks total, but it's 7 sessions. Yeah.
7-week class where at first it was a very challenging class, where I was pushed out of my comfort zones. I was, you had a lot of peer accountability with your team. So you have really high expectations set. You're trained on what to say, how to say it, who to call, where to find the numbers, all that fun stuff. And then on top of that, it's layered with this awesome kind of team atmosphere, where if you let your team down, you let your team down, and no one wants to be that person. And so I felt great accountability to my team, because we meet with them every single week. If you don't do something, you get a foul. In our business, you could not do something and nobody would know, right? Nobody would find out until you went bankrupt.
Nobody fires themselves, Melissa.
Do what?
Nobody fires themselves.
Right. Exactly.
We're write ourselves up when we don't do our job in a day.
Exactly. Right? And so I think that's where a lot of people find failure in our business, is because there is so much flexibility that if you're not as diligent and as disciplined, then you're gonna fail, right? And so using Bold helped me develop kind of a new standard for myself. So like every week I'm going to call this many people. Every week I know what I'm supposed to hit. And so the first couple of times I took Bold, because I've taken it, I think I'm a 5-time Bold graduate. But the first couple times I took Bold, it was, when you're working out and your muscles are sore, it was like that. And now that I take it more regularly, it's a little bit more like, okay, this is just what we do. This is how our business runs. And so then getting in the Bold room is just like a little kick in the pants to like get back into gear.
Yeah.
So
You get
I,
that muscle memory almost.
yeah,
Right.
right.
And sometimes we get a little out of the habit. And then if we they'll get back into the environment, we go, oh yeah, I got the muscle memory for this. I'm conditioned for this. I know what to do. I know what to take. My thermostat is raised. Yeah.
And one cool thing that I'm planning on doing next Bold is actually taking it in a market center that refers business into our area.
So smart.
Yeah, so I learned that at a family reunion. And so that's one thing. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go take Bold in California or something, right? And just do a quick flight in the morning and at night. So Bold has been amazing. The Bold laws are awesome little laws to live by. My favorite would probably be you can have results or reasons, but you can't have both. So I like that one because I can either say, I don't want to make my calls today because I really need to type up this repair amendment, or I can just do it and I can do the calls and find the time to do the repair amendment, right? I don't think it's actually a Bold law, but I hear Dusty say it all the time and I use it on my kids is, they might be afraid to do something or nervous to do something. And, hey, we feel the fear and we do it anyway. So, my girls, they're doing their first dress rehearsal for their dance recital. And one of my girls is really nervous about it. And I'm like, hey, brave people feel the fear and they do it anyway. And that's what makes them brave. So things like that. So we've got a lot of them up here. And also the garbage magnet one. So we like to avoid the garbage magnets.
Yes. It's so interesting because one of the Bold laws is your business grows to the extent you do. And I think it's so true because really, as we grow in our mindset and our leadership and all of that, our business grows, our income grows. And then we also become better moms and better dads and better friends and better spouses and just better human beings all the way around when we really start inside to outside, which I think is really the power of a program like Bold. That we have. So, okay. So you said that your favorite was you can have reasons or results and you can't have both. And honestly, girl, you've had a lot of reasons.
Good.
You have had really, I mean, honestly, you've had a lot of reasons since you've started that, you didn't, things were probably stacked against you to not succeed. And you've really overcome those and done it anyway. Over the last couple of years, you've had a lot of things. You've had a lot of reasons. So I would love you if you would just share with us a little of kind of life happens.
Yeah.
And it affects our business and what happened? How'd you overcome it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first one I think everyone went through, right, was COVID. And very quickly I adapted to, and I think we were in a Bold when COVID hit, right? Weren't we in a Bold?
I don't think we were in a Bold, but we did a virtual Bold during COVID.
Okay. I was taking, so COVID hit. We've got a middle child who has very, very, she's a respiratory disease. And so any upper respiratory virus just gets her. I mean, we're in the ER. And so with her, we had to kind of live in a bubble. And that was hard to do as real estate agent. My husband, right before COVID, had left his job and was going to school. And so that was put on hold. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to make money. And so I was in the drive, just, you can have reasons or you can have results. My Wi-Fi would reach to my driveway. I went out to my driveway with my laptop and did my for sale by owner calls and closed a lot of for sale by owner business during that period because people still really had to sell their houses.
And everybody who has kids totally understands why you had to go into the car with your laptop. If you don't have kids, that might have kind of just flew right by you. AK, there's no talking on the phone in the presence of young children. Like those two things just don't go hand in hand. So
I can hear feet outside my office door right now, waiting to bust in.
I get it. I'm home. I'm doing this interview from home because I have two sick kids with spike and fever sitting in the other room. So as a mom, life happens, right?
Yeah, so that was COVID. And then I don't know, maybe like 2020, toward the end of 2021, and during 2022, I had like a, a health issue that was chronic, kept coming up. It was something that would make me feel really sick and icky, and it just wasn't a fun time. And I had to take my foot off the gas. And so I pulled back on my business because of all the activities I had been doing. So because I love on my people, right? And my people send me referral business and my people come back to me because we do so much on YouTube and those videos are constantly reaching new people. Because of that, I was able to be carried through essentially an entire year where I had to pull back from work, focus on my health, focus on my family, and just get better. And so that was just, I mean, I didn't go hungry during that year. I was totally supported by our office. You guys helped me and loved on me too. And so it's just a big deal. And I got back into MAPS coaching because I'd pulled out of MAPS coaching also during that time. And I feel like the support from DPR and the support from my MAPS coach has created like what this year has become for us when a lot of people are losing business or leaving the industry. I'm like thriving and enjoying what's going on. So, so I think that really positioned me to be in a place where, I didn't have to focus on all the bad stuff going on, right? I'd made these smart choices and I'd followed the plans and the systems that other people have done in the past, and that this company is so open to sharing, to really nurture me and carry me through those periods and still have business and still serve clients without breaking my back.
It's such a great point, Melissa, because I think sometimes we don't even realize that the choices that we make today are not just about today, right? They're about tomorrow and they're about the future. And we don't ever know when those hard times are going to come. So whether that means, we're spending frugally and saving our money, or it means we have our foot on the gas with lead generation so that we have great relationships and lead flow that's coming in, so that when we do make a great choice to step back and take care of our health and to take care of our family, because those are great choices, to be able to do that. We just don't always know what showing up today and doing the hard things, what that's going to pay off for us in the long run. So we're glad you're better, because you are doing better with your health and all of that. So and you're still homeschooling kids though.
Yes.
Kids are home. So you mentioned you could hear their pitter patter outside the door. This is not being recorded on a Saturday. She is home during the week. You're so cute because you sent me a little text yesterday and said, I've got to brag. My daughter is second grade and she hit the 5th grade reading level on her test. So I'm just going to brag for you. That's awesome. But yeah, you're doing an amazing job. You're killing it in all the areas. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about getting back to the basics, because that's something, as the market has shifted and we know it's a skills-based market, anybody can succeed today and not everybody will. We know that. And it's really a lot about the basics. So talk a little bit about how that's showing up in your business.
Yeah. So for me, some of the things that I started doing when I noticed, okay, this is a little different temperature outside, when I started feeling that, I pulled back in my coach. I was like, okay, I'm ready to jump back into my business and work it the way I'm supposed to work it. So I reached out to MAPS coaching. I had a particular coach I wanted. She was open to partnering with me. So I got my coach back. Really working on my scripting, also making sure that,
No. You actually, what that really means is you actually invested in yourself. Yes. And spent some money on something that would be long-term, give you massive return on your income, right? And I think that's a hard choice to make sometimes when we feel a little bit concerned of, okay, Is production going to be where it was even last year? Or even though you had a little bit of a down year last year, it was still a great year. It was down a little bit from what you typically do because of life happens. So that could be a hard choice to make. And yet, I mean, we're looking at Q1 for you and seeing the massive rewards from that. So,
yeah, it's kind of the first time I did MAPS coaching, and my original MAPS coach, he passed away and he was amazing. Oh my gosh, I loved him. And that was very much a faith thing. Like, I have faith that this is going to return something to me and I'm going to spend this money. And it was the same way. I have an amazing virtual assistant, and it was the same thing with her. It was, okay, I'm going to pay this money to have this person work for me, and I'm going to trust it's going to work. And all of those things I would have done them years in advance had I known what I was going to get out of it. So going back into MAPS, and believe me, I mean, especially coming off the last year, I am money is security to me. And so spending money makes me a little nervous. And so it was getting back into coaching. I still knew I need this. And I interviewed multiple different coaching groups, and I still stayed with MAPS. They had the systems, the work-life balance I was looking for. I mean, some of the coaches don't, I'm a mom. I homeschool my kids. I want to spend time with my husband, and I also want to build my business and have something awesome to leave to them or to sell one day. And having a coach who recognizes that that's where I'm at in my life was really, really important to me. And so it was really a no-brainer to get a coach back into my life when I re-entered. However, I wanted to shop around, and I still, even with all that shopping, came back to MAPS because KW had all of the things that I was looking for.
I love that perspective. And it really truly is. It's about, your business is about building the life that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And how does selling real estate and the income you get to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just about real estate or about a business or about making money? It's about funding a life for your family and creating a future for them. It never can be at the expense of our family, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? That's what when it's all said and done, that's what's going to matter the most. Okay. So you are awesome on YouTube. You've done a great job with your channel. You're so cute and great on video, and just professional, and you just bring it, girl. And you really kind of got started on video, to be honest, before everybody was on video. So you're very innovative and cutting edge. It's not, nowadays we're talking, everybody's got to do video. Yeah. Here I am on video, late to the game. Talk about that. How did you get started with it? How has that grown? What has that done for your business?
So with video, I have utilized video for a long time. I feel like it's the best way to get to know somebody. I'm really big on attracting the people I want to work with. So I feel like video shows them who I am and what they got. And if I'm not their person, there's probably somebody that they would like better. That's cool. But the first time I got really serious about video was the family reunion in Louisiana, in New Orleans. And Ken Pozak, who just came back, I'd been following him for a long time. And I was really, when he left, and then he's back now. So I was super pumped when I saw him.
It was like a breath, and then he was back. So
yeah, I was like, come on. So he's one of my favorites. And I've sent him referrals. He's a super nice guy. But he did a session, and Karen from Georgia, I forget what part of Georgia she's in, but they did a session, and it really gave me more of like a game plan on how to do video well and how to strategically do it so that I'm reaching the people that I need to reach. And so I just started following that formula. They are just like everyone else with Keller Williams. They are so open to sharing what is working for them. I find very few of our agents are gatekeepers. And so they share what's working. And so that's something that I was able to do, get really serious about it, create different styles of videos to reach different people. I do driving tours for my nerdy buyers who want to know all the stats for certain subdivisions. I do really pretty, fancy builder tours for people who just want to look at pretty houses. And then I do like talking head style videos where I'm answering questions and giving people kind of infotainment. And so I really feel like that's how people get to know me. And what's cool is I just have it all set up on, YouTube with a Calendly link. And so they go watch my video, get to know me, book a discovery call with me. Sometimes I'll be in the middle of giving my like little spiel, that I'm used to doing. And I've even had like my very, high D's cut me off and be like, I already watched that video. I already know. So this is what I'm looking for. Can you send my buyer rep here? And I'm like, yes, I can.
Done.
Yeah. So it really, especially during that year, I needed to pull my foot off the gas. That was still a really good 6-figure year. And I got to rest and sleep in and take care of my family. So, yeah, I love video. I have invested even more in video this year. It's something that we use for all aspects of our business, for past clients, all of our drips, everything has a video component to it.
Love that. So give somebody advice who's maybe not tapping into video in their business or into YouTube and maybe has some hesitancy just about putting themselves out there. It feels maybe a little bit more vulnerable than sending a postcard to somebody's door. So what advice do you have?
So number one, I think just not having a scarcity mindset, right? Knowing that there is still plenty of business out there for everybody. I make it a point to be myself in my videos, right? I am not wear a suit every day kind of real estate agent. And I want my people to get that, right? To feel that when they talk with me. So I really, if you just be yourself on camera, the cool thing about video, if you make a video that's terrible that nobody wants to watch, guess what? It's not going to perform. No one's going to see it. Just keep making the videos. With technology, you have so much at your disposal just with your phone that you can go out and shoot. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that will walk you through how to create those video tours if you don't want to put your face. I will tell you though, you're going to attract the people that you want to work with if you put your face on video and just talk, right? Done is better than perfect. So it's really important to just get out there, do it consistently. You'll get better as you progress, and you'll start to find your voice. Because I have videos of me where I'm like, "Hi guys," that's not who I am today. And so I think you just got to get in there and start working and trying some things out, and people will love it.
I think that's great advice because the truth is people love you. So they're going to love you in person. They're going to love you on video, right? I would say nobody likes hearing the sound of their own voice unless you're maybe like,
I don't.
I
sound like such
I'm sure. I don't know. Taylor Swift probably loves the sound of her own voice. I have no idea. And guess what? It's what we sound like. So unless we're just going to walk around not speaking, we might as well just get our voice on video and get our faces on video and do something new and different. So Melissa, thank you for sharing with us and being such an open book and being just so honest and vulnerable. You are a great example of just a disciplined, learning-based person who's willing to do what it takes and put your family first and succeed at such a great level in business. So you inspire me just as a businesswoman, as a mom. So I just want to thank you for being you. It's awesome being in business with you. And thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Love you all.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.